How's it going, guys? Rhino here, and we're coming at you with another video attacking Milo Stewart. Before I get into this, I responded to the other video of his attacking him for his terrible ideas on the second video that he created that people are responding to, where he talks about harassment he receives. And I attacked him in that, and then I said I was going to make a response to this video. And I feel like I wasn't harsh enough on him in that video because I came to realize I hadn't watched any of his videos other than this one and then the one that I responded to. I came to realize how much of a fucking terrible person he is. He believes unbelievably terrifying things and gloats about it. It's terrifying, honestly. And so I'm going to try to be a little bit more blunt in this video because I feel like that's going to be more productive, I guess. But let's get right into this 6-minute piece of crap. And a lot of you have probably seen this, so yeah. Take a note of the ratings really quickly. The 1,000 likes and 100,000 dislikes.
Good morning, easily offended millennials.
Kind of ironic coming from someone like you who literally calls anything transphobic. The easily offended people are the feminists and SJWs. Radical feminists and SJWs. Not us.
I hope you like my new background. I call this, "My city is experiencing historic flooding, and all of my valuables are on my bed in case my house floods, so I make do with what I can."
Why aren't you making the vlog on your bed then? I mean, I've made vlogs on my bed. I've made vlogs behind my bed. Well, not behind, like in front of my bed, but facing my bed. I've just, whatever. Like, I don't understand. Whatever. Oh my God. I wish I could skip.
This video is going to include discussions about racism. And because I am white, none of these thoughts about racism in this video are my original thought. I accredit to...
Hold on. I'm going to turn off citations. I really don't give a shit.
Most of the ideas that I have picked up from these two videos created by two very lovely black YouTubers,
who are very strong black supremacists. You are literally kissing ass to these people because you feel bad for whatever reason. This is the SJW mentality. It's not only a victim complex, but you sympathize with other victims that you see. So you feel like black people are victims, and I'm not saying they are or they aren't. What I'm saying is you see that and you pity them, so you're trying to knuckle under and do everything you can to make them happy. But both of these people that you are talking about, I have personally seen videos from, and they are incredibly racist towards white people. But they are also open about it. They aren't just like, they're not like you where they believe harmful ideas that are bad, like bad racist against white people. It's that they are openly against white people. They openly say they don't like white people. Ghazi, the guy on the right, he openly says he hates white people. What's the girl's name on the left? Senpai or something like that. I think she has openly said she hates white people, but just in her videos she says things that are openly racist against white people. So two very bad people that you are trying to kiss their ass.
So go and check them out, please, because they're lovely and awesome, and like, why not?
Because I don't like black supremacy. I don't like supremacy of any kind. I prefer equality across all platforms.
All white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, all cisgender people are transphobic, all members of a majority are biased against the members of the minority or oppressed group.
I guarantee you have heard that quote somewhere. That's the thing that's being attacked about Milo Stewart. That's why That's why he has 100,000 dislikes on this video, is because of that statement right here. Now, let me start off by saying that those claims are just incorrect. They are claims. And the more important thing is, for very strong claims like that, you need a very strong basis of evidence. And none is provided at any point during this video, before the video, or after the video. So, yeah. But let's just say that I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you have evidence that proves your theory correct. What you say at the end is not indicative of racism or sexism or transphobia or anything like that. What you said at the end was all members of the majority are biased against the members of the minority. Bias does not mean racism. There is a strong difference between the two. So even if you could prove that I was automatically biased against black people, that doesn't mean I'm racist against black people. It depends on how I view things. Now, I can openly say, not only am I not racist, but I'm actually not biased against black people. I'm one of those people who says we should celebrate our differences, but not, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, this guy's black, so therefore he's this bad thing. I'm not going to do anything like that. I will notice race, but I'm not going to make any, like, tie anything to race. I'm not going to say, oh, because he's black, he's this. Oh, because she's a woman, she's this, or so on and so forth. Therefore, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, and I'm not transphobic. I'm supportive of all people, and I'm an egalitarian, so I'm supportive of equal rights on all platforms.
In fact, most people are racist, misogynistic, transphobic, ableist, etc.
Once again, please provide some evidence.
I am racist, classist, ableist, and I probably contribute to many other systems of marginalization that I am not aware of.
Yes, I agree. You are racist. You are extremely racist against white people. And you don't really go into too much about gender here, but you do say that all men are misogynistic. Therefore, you are also sexist, even though you are a man, even though you are, well, you're transgender. So some people would debate that, but I will take you at your word and say you are a man, you're a white male. So you are sexist and racist towards your own type of people. That's pretty sad.
Words like racist, misogynistic, and transphobic are not insults.
Yes, they are.
Nor are they stereotypes or generalizations.
But they are stereotypes and generalizations, because you just generalized at the beginning of the video and stereotype saying that all white people are racist, all straight people are transphobic, and all men are misogynistic. That is generalizing and stereotyping, no matter what follows what you say there. So that you literally just contradicted yourself seconds after what you just said, and then earlier in the video as well.
Rather, they are facts about the way we are socialized in a Western society.
No? I mean, it depends on where. A Western society is such a broad spectrum. I will admit, yes, there are places where there are white people who are literally socialized to be racist, and it's typically in the deep South when they are raised on, I mean, this is stereotyping and generalizing, but when they're raised on like a farm. Like, I used to live in the South. I know what I'm talking about. I've literally seen it firsthand. That is racism. That is socialized. You are literally brought up and you are racist because your parents taught you to be racist, and there's just racism around you. That does not happen here in most of the West, or, you know, the more, what's the best word? I want to say more liberal-ish. I don't know how to describe it, because just not the deep South. It doesn't happen.
And in most other societies. I talk mostly about Western societies because that is what I have the most experience with. Saying that we're all raised to believe that gender is defined by anatomy and chromosomes is not a stereotype. It's a fact about how we are raised.
It's a fact about how we are born biologically. I am not going to get into the whole debate of biological sex versus biological sex versus gender, but there is a biological sex that you are born with. You are either born male or you are born female. That there is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That is a biological fact. And it's based on chromosomes. And there are other things that go into this, and I've explained this in other videos. I'm not a biologist, nor am I a doctor, so I'm not the expert on this. But I do know that an XX chromosome pair on your, I think they're called your sex chromosomes, but I could be wrong about that. That makes you a female. You are born a girl / well, not a woman. Woman is later on. You are born a girl / female. XY is male. In fact, any mutation that causes multiple chromosomes, like 3 or more chromosomes, and any of them are present that are Y, you are a male. It's based on if you are if there's a Y present or not. Now there's more that goes into it, and once again, I'm not an expert on it, but that is how it is, and that's biological fact. That is just how it is. I have no quarrel with you wanting to disassociate yourself from the gender that you were born into and identify as something else. I don't really care about that. In fact, I know people who do that, and it doesn't bother me in the least, because it's your life, live it how you want. But you can't go around because you have this desire to be a different gender that everybody is wrong about how we were born. That's just not how it works.
Even if you have liberal parents or teachers who teach you about gender identity, you still come into contact with the idea of biological gender through the media or through interactions with other people.
That's because biological gender is a real thing. It exists. It is a fact. Plain and simple.
Even if you are raised by open-minded people, you will still be psychologically affected by living in a society built on imperialism, which, by the way, created cisnormativity and heteronormativity.
No, what created cisnormativity and heteronormativity is the fact that the majority of people living in our society are of that, of the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of people are of those normativities that you were describing. Cisnormativity, which is identifying as the gender you were born into, plain and simple, which I believe that transgender people make up less, like I think it's like 0.3% of the population. So 90, it's either 0.5 or 0.3, but 99.5% to 99.7% of the population is cisgendered. Therefore, cisnormativity is just a natural thing that will occur. If an overwhelming majority of people overwhelming majority have or exists, then that whatever traits are around that will be more prominent, because it's just what is seen more and what is viewed more often. That's just how it works. The same thing goes with heteronormativity. Homosexuality, I believe it's less than 10%, but I could be wrong on those statistics. I haven't really done videos on homosexuality and heterosexuality in a long time, since I'm pro homosexuality, like I'm pro rights for them. So it's not something that I really have had to attack recently. There hasn't been a huge uproar of people attacking people who are homosexual, so I haven't had to talk about it. But even then, the same thing applies. And I'm sorry that this video will be a little bit longer, but let's take a look at what you're saying. Heteronormativity, well, so what if it's normal to be hetero? That doesn't mean you have any problems being homosexual. I have a cousin, actually, who is homosexual, and guess what? He has no problems with it. He doesn't have any problems with heteronormativity, because he's not a whiny little bitch like you. Who actually, I don't know. I think you identify as asexual, actually, but still, you're just a whiny little bitch about things that have no impact on you whatsoever.
A 2012 study, which I will link below, observed how white people empathize with black people less than we do with other white people.
Okay, this is getting to the crux of what feminism and SJWs do. They bend the data to support their own theories and hypotheses and stories, is the best way to put it. The study that was done is not only, I'm not a scientist, so I can't really criticize this that much, but it wasn't a very good study. And more importantly, here's the important thing that was left out. What was actually found was that people of a certain race empathize less with people of a different race. Ironic how he said white people empathize less with black people, but he left out the part that black people empathize less with white people, and black people empathize less with Asian people, and Asian people empathize less with white people, and white people empathize less with Asian people. And I think you can see where this is going. The study had no bearing on racism whatsoever, and it just has to do with empathy. That's it. I don't know. I feel like I had to say that.
Because our minds register their pain as being less severe than it actually is.
That's because there is no pain of being black. there are certain racism things that certain black people have to deal with, but there are others who don't. There's nothing inherent about being black that you will endure this pain and suffering, because this pain and suffering isn't inherent on black people. It's usually based around other things. It can be because you're black, but that doesn't mean every black person faces these.
We're raised to believe that black people are lesser and that they're more likely to be dangerous to us.
Well, there are statistics that can back up part of that I still would say you can't let the actions of the minority represent the majority. And so I don't care about those statistics. But no, we're not raised that way. You may be raised that way, which is pretty fucked up, but I was never raised that way. I was raised to accept all of the people and that all people are equal, no matter what their race, gender, or sexuality is. That's how I was raised. And that's how most people I know were raised. They don't care about race. They don't care about gender. Other than they care about gender when it comes to who they're attracted to, and they don't care about sexuality.
Even though history has proved the opposite to be true. We're raised to believe that gender is based on biology.
Which is true.
And that features that are typically associated with one sex are repulsive or shocking on the other binary gender.
Repulsive, no. Shocking, yes. Simply because we've come to know males have penises and flat chest, unless they're fat, and women have boobs and a vagina. This is what we've come to know, and this is what biological sex says. Now, there are obviously variations on this, like some girls have very small boobs that are not noticeable, and some have huge ones, and some guys, there's a disorder that actually a large percentage of guys have, fairly large percentage of guys have, where they start to grow breasts a little bit, not much. It's barely noticeable, but it's something that happens. So there are variations on this, but what shocking isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just something you don't expect to see, and this is just the truth. You don't expect to see it. And so if you see a girl who looks very feminine and then she gets naked and there's a big whopping dick there, you're going to be shocked by that. That's just how we are, and there's nothing harmful about that, because it doesn't harm that person. That individual can just be their own person. You are trans. No one is going to be shocked by you because it's pretty clear you are trans. You're not masculine.
Especially when it comes to transgender women. Beauty standards affect everyone's psychology, and cisnormative beauty standards are no exception. If you followed me this far, and you agree that all people are psychologically affected by marginalization,
they're not.
But you disagree with calling these biases racism or transphobia or misogyny, then there's really no point in arguing further.
Very true. And I like how you just give up instead of continuing the argument. There's no point arguing further with you because you are literally so brainwashed with this ideology that it's just you can't get it out. Like, honestly, I say Milo is a lost cause. All these responses are, like this response, I'm not responding to change Milo's mind. I know he's lost. He's never going to be a fucking normal person. He's never going to see have a logical frame of mind. But this video is not for Milo. This video is for every single person who watches this video, who might be on the edge about something, might be kind of in the camp of feminism, but not sure about it, sees this video. I hope to change your mind. This is for the audience, not for Milo, even though I'm talking to Milo.
Once a discussion boils down to disagreement over the definition of a word, it's probably not going to be very productive.
Holy shit, I forgot he said that. That's incredible, because I was going to say this at the beginning. A lot of the problems and debate that come up with this have to do with definitions of things. Now, a definition is actually subjective for the most part. I mean, we have culturally kind of an objective definition of things. If I say hello has a definition of being a greeting, and basically everyone is going to see it that way. However, if one person decides to say, you know what, I don't want hello to be a greeting, I want hello to be a goodbye, the opposite, I want it to change. Well, to that person, hello means goodbye, even though to everyone else it means hello, or a greeting, sorry. And so what you were doing is you were trying to change these definitions that the vast majority of society holds to meet your story. So you can, define things these certain ways. Under your definition, yes, I am racist, I am sexist, I'm transphobic. However, on the definition of any of the overwhelming majority of people that actually care about their definition, I'm not. It's all about definitions with this, and you can't make up words, make up definitions for things to support your personal agenda.
However, I will make an argument for why I believe we should view racism, transphobia, and misogyny from a wider lens, and you can feel free to respectfully disagree with me.
I don't respectively disagree with you. I disrespectfully disagree with you. You have terrible ideas that are incredibly harmful. You literally are belittling someone who is black, who faces unbelievable racism on a daily basis. Like they go to school and they get called nigger, or they get beaten up because they're black. You are literally belittling that because you are now equating someone literally just being white with being racist. So people are going to take racism less seriously under your definition and are more likely to ignore cases like this where someone could literally be killed because they are black. So that it's very harmful what you're talking about.
I think that when people hear words like racism, transphobia, and misogyny, they think of blatant, unapologetic hate, like violently attacking someone because of their identity. Certainly, people who commit violent hate crimes are very, very bad people. However, I believe to properly dismantle systems of oppression, we must acknowledge that being racist or transphobic or misogynistic or ableist or whatever does not make you a bad person.
First, you have to actually prove that these systems of oppression exist, which feminism, SJWs, intersectional feminism, Black Lives Matter, and all these have failed to do so on epic scales. And I want to say once again, I am not making a comment on Black Lives Matter here. It's just something they failed to do. It's an objective viewpoint. They failed to do that. And same with here. You're talking about systems of oppression. Well, what systems of oppression? Can you please prove them? Prove them. That's what you need to do. Provide proof.
By being afraid to call ourselves racist, we are failing to acknowledge how our biases contribute to systematic racism. Microaggressions are mocked as not really being a big deal.
Because literally in the name, micro means small aggression pretty much defeats itself.
We fail to acknowledge when they do legitimate harm. Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, this is something I've never talked about in a video, but one of my friends from college is Latino. He is a Mexican-American. He was born here, but his parents are from Mexico. Both born and raised in Mexico, and they moved here. I don't know when, but he was born here in the U.S. So he would be one of these people that you consider marginalized, and he is one of these people who has he's a psychology major, and he has studied these things about microaggressions. Guess what? He thinks microaggressions are bullshit. Now, I know this may seem like an appeal to authority, but what I'm saying is people who you say microaggressions affect don't really affect them all that much. Especially, you can't just assume that microaggressions automatically affect people who are marginalized.
Yes, there have been a lot of police officers who have been outed as members of the KKK. But not every police officer who has harmed an unarmed Black or Latinx person has been a member of the KKK.
Did you say Latinx? What is that?
Subconscious biases are the reason why we're more likely to see a Black person holding a cell phone or a toy gun.
Oh, I want to go back for a second. Your point about cops and KKK, the same is applied to white people. There are some white people who are racist, but not all white people are racist. Plain and simple. Use your own point to defeat you.
And think we see a dangerous armed person. And they're also to blame for the fact that many victims of police brutality were never given the medical treatments that could have saved their lives.
Okay, I agree with that. Watching some of the videos and stories that have happened, yes, there are cases where someone was denied medical treatment when they should have been given it or were treated terribly in custody. This is a bad thing and that should be addressed. I personally don't think it has anything to do with race, or I think it has more to do with class than anything, being more on the poor side than anything else. But that's just my personal opinion on the matter. And that needs to be attacked there. It's not racism, it's not sexism, it's not anything. It's just police officers not treating people correctly.
Microaggressions are also to blame for the fact that transgender women are stereotyped as being sex workers.
I didn't know that stereotype existed.
Which hurts people like Megan Taylor, who was jailed for 8 days after the hotel she was staying at wrongfully reported her.
Okay, then attack the hotel.
If we refuse to classify people who hold biases and stereotypes as racists or transphobes, then we're not acknowledging how damaging less blatant racism and transphobia can be.
But you have to prove these biases and stereotypes exist. I'm not stereotyping, I do not stereotype black people. I do not stereotype women. I do not stereotype input any other minority that you were talking about. I don't even stereotype these transgender women that you were talking about. So I'm not racist. I just defeated your point once again.
And we're not forcing people to become aware of their own microaggressions. The whole
Microaggressions
point
are bullshit.
of acknowledging that we're racist, transphobic, misogynistic, etc. is so that we can better recognize our biases and work to overcome them.
Except for these biases and stereotypes don't exist. So you are trying to actually literally battle something that doesn't exist. And if you listen to most SJWs trying to turn the tables so that straight white men are the new oppressed class.
So those are my thoughts. I don't normally...
Okay, I'm not going to listen to your bullshit outro. Yeah, that's my video. If you have any comments or concerns, please post them in the comments. But, you know, just take a moment to look at this right here. I'm not going to dislike the video because I'm not like that. But, wow. I mean, Milo would come out and say that something like this is harassment or that people are just attacking him. This is not, I mean, some people obviously are. I mean, okay. You are idiotic. I mean, yes, this is kind of an attack right here. You are idiotic. It's just coming out and like fuck, I can't, I've been out of the religion debate so long that I can't remember these, ad hominem. It's basically an ad hominem attack. But the overwhelming majority of people, the reason why this ratio exists, this almost 1 to 100 ratio, 1 to 99 ratio exists, is because your ideas are idiotic. See, notice how I said that your ideas are idiotic. Now you are a bad person because you try to spread these ideas, but your ideas are idiotic, and the majority of people see through your bullshit. That's why if you go to like, well, Daz Games right here, he watches. I've never watched this video, but I guarantee, 1 million subscribers even. If I clicked on his video, I guarantee that I would see a way better like to dislike ratio. And that's because his ideas are generally accepted by the public. The public realizes that his ideas make more sense and are more equal, better for the whole of society than your ideas. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.